Over the years, Dream Exchange has found incredible stories around people who are self-employed. And today we have something slightly different. Hello, everyone. I'm joined here today with Conway, and we are at the Welcome Glen Farmhouse in Glencairn, Cape Town, to talk a little about the space that you have curated for people to showcase their self-employment products. So welcome, Conway. It's wonderful to meet you.
Oh, thank you, Nicole. I've been excited for you guys to visit because I've been a fan of your work for a while. So yeah, it feels like a nice opportunity to be able to speak into it after we've been here 3 months now.
Wow.
And in that time, we've got an element of the farmhouse is something called Welcome Trading that we started, which was very much, as you're saying, to encourage local makers, crafters, creatives to be able to showcase their work, I suppose in local economies, but very much building local networks and using local resources to build on those and support networks of people, essentially word of mouth campaigns in a way to really get the word out of where their products are being sold.
So what is your inspiration and drive to start something like this? Because you don't see this everywhere. This isn't something that is in and around the country or Cape Town. There are small markets, but not a beautiful space, a very unique space to host people's products and for them to sell like this.
I suppose one of the biggest inspirations, in a sense, was that I had a real sense that we are localizing and in a sense decentralizing, because a lot of people are having to, I mean, I love the word hustle because it comes from the sort of Ikazi space, but for me, there's lots of people in all communities that are doing that, you know. So, and I think, especially in, I'm going to call them Western communities like ours, they're sort of underestimated or underrated in that sense of potential. So that was the motivation. Was first of all to have a common space, but within that space to really empower local people that could really use the support and resources.
100% agree. And I think to touch on resilience as well, people who are self-employed are extremely resilient because they've tried working for other people, it's not working out for them. And now they're like, what can I do? What can I sell? What can I give out to the community? And I think what you've created here is a really beautiful space in which to do that. And you are assisting other people in their dreams. So in which in doing that, you've only been going for obviously 3 months.
Yeah.
What is your big dream for this space? What is your sort of vision for the space, for the community to maybe expand a bit further?
Well, in some ways, I mean, what's been really amazing is because we're really learning to walk before we can run. So a big element has been, I mean, it was pointed out to me, someone came in and said, because people shop differently. And so it's nice to be aware of the range of the way people shop. But when someone comes in and says to me that the thing about markets is that you'll see something that you like and you can only get it in a month's time again. And I was like, wow, that really, I'd never heard that.
You know what they say, you never regret something more than the thing that you didn't get when you wanted to get it.
Well, especially because in your head, you can't plan every birthday that's coming up for the month. Or even, you know, I feel like rusks. And then, you know, you suddenly can't get those ones that you wanted to get from the market. So that's been really empowering. That for me has been probably the biggest value add, is going like, wow, you know, for people that like to support markets, they can now come, you know, and we 7 days a week for now. But it really, so that was an amazing insight. From my side personally, because I literally sit in the shop and I do every transaction myself by hand, write a receipt. And what's been amazing for me is I know every sale that I take there, I know personally who it's going to. You know?
That's remarkable. That's beautiful. You know exactly who it's going to.
I know exactly
who
it's going to. You know? So it's like that for me, I didn't see that coming in a sense of reward for me, meaning and how powerful that actually is, because it motivates me to want to be there, to be honest. And then on the back of that, seeing how I've been exploring this sort of community building space for a while, and I'm really quite excited also to share this in other communities to show one of the main drivers for me is that we get given a fair rent here, and so we try and pass that on in the system that we have here.
So it really helps the people who are putting their products within your store. It's not a very high space to rent from. Okay.
And in the same way, I think it's an exciting space to explore in other communities where you can come off the high rent that we've got, because it's just not sustainable. It means that people can't make a living from. So I think other spaces like this, we almost see this as a blueprint for other communities that can use either heritage buildings or city or government buildings that are standing empty. So that's a very exciting space for me to be able to share. Like, this is the way we've done it here, and it can be done. It can be replicated, and the best way for me is that, because each community is unique, and I think that's what people forget, is that the Somalian model works so well because they sell you what you want to buy from them, you know. So if you actually use that model in this sort of setup, it just works so well, because it means you've got people that are supplying goods that they want to make, and then people buying from them that either knows them, they're friends, and so it's a question of scale. When you keep it small, then this model really works well, because it starts to fall over it starts to become a bit more industrialized when anything else. So
I completely agree. And I also think that personal touch is so important. Knowing the person personally, you also get a sense of passion. Every time you walk into this space, you see something that is personally made, handmade or crafted or sourced, and you can just get the sense of excitement and passion for what they're doing. I think that also really sells the product. There's so much attention and care into everything that's being sold in that corner over there.
Yeah, I think it's because I've done none of it really, which is the most surprising part. You know, we just created the space, and then suddenly it's like, let's build it, they will come. It's just been like, there's over 40 traders in there now in 3 months. So I like to call it's not admin, it's record keeping now for me. It's been quite something to get my head around. So now we've got a folder with over 40 people and tracking sales, and so it really has been amazing to see the flow towards the space, you know, which for me is probably the best justification in some ways. Or
if you are inspired by this video, if you are inspired by potentially the space that we're going to showcase in this video, please come down and support our beautiful locally self-employed individuals in this space. And I really hope people are inspired to do more of what you're doing here to create an expansive community. It is absolutely wonderful. So thank you for starting this.
No, thank you, Nicole, for coming to visit us. It's much appreciated. Thank you, everyone. Thank you.